like Lacey's been promoted. I just got this email, rad@radradio.com, from Charles.
Hey, Charles.
Says, I just have to say that Sheriff Nelson is something else.
Oh, hey.
Hey, watch out.
I think Charles is talking about Sheriff Jones, who was just here, because says, I know he isn't rolling in a patrol car, but I could get a ticket from that guy and drive off enjoying the $500 ticket I just received from such a cool cop.
Yes.
We were actually, so Deputy Nelson is here with us. Thanks again to Sheriff Jones for being here, giving us a whole hour. But we were just talking off the air about Sheriff Jones. What a genuine guy he seems like. It was great on the air, but
So genuine.
everybody seems to love him.
Yeah, no complaints working for him. Loved it.
And loved it. Like, you don't work for him anymore? Are you
No,
quitting?
I mean, just the whole yeah.
Are you quitting on the air?
Yeah, I resigned. No, I've been there 8 years, and I was telling Don, from the moment I swore in, every time I'd see him, as few and far between as that was, he knew my first name every time I saw him. So, very charismatic, good supervisor, good boss.
Phone number is 888-989-9811. Hi, Andre. Hello.
Good morning, Rad Radio.
Hi.
So I have a question for Scott Jones.
Well, he's gone, but
Yeah.
Lindsay can answer the question.
I'll try.
Okay. Okay. So with the whole Shelter-in-Place Act, is it essential activity to teach someone to drive with a permit?
That's a good question. So, kind of what I've been telling folks is I'm not here to, give you the law of the land as far as the stay-at-home order. SacCounty.net has the order. It is an order signed by a judge, so it's important to know that. So if it doesn't appear to be essential, but again, we're not predicating vehicle stops on you're out and about. So pay your registration, do what you're supposed to do on the road, and by and large, we're not going to enforce that.
Now, as we were talking about with Sheriff Jones, there are times, though, where you're still enforcing various traffic laws, things like that, so you get pulled over. And then that's what Julie has this email. It says, my husband works for the cell tower company out of Dixon. His boss gave all the employees laminated cards to show law enforcement if they get pulled over that they are essential personnel. Is that common? And does that work, Lacey? I mean, can an employer just say, yeah, we're essential here, show this to law enforcement?
Right. I've seen it's like a hall pass, right?
Exactly.
I get to leave class to go to the bathroom. You can print these out online. So I don't know if they make people feel better that they're given cards, but
Anyone can print them out.
anybody can print them. I've looked online and there they are.
I'm
so,
essential.
Yeah. So, again, just let law enforcement know if you get pulled over for another reason. Just let them know you're going to work and whatever the case may be.
And then law enforcement is going to deem, and again, you're just here about Sac County. They're going to deem whether or not that is in fact essential. But in Sac County, you're not going to send them home. Not
necessarily. Again, it's about education. So hey, going to this place or that place doesn't seem essential, so do yourself a favor and stay home.
Is it frustrating if we assume, because I know I saw when we were getting a few phone calls earlier, all of us are kind of making eye contact and rolling our eyes because so many things are anecdotal and people are jumping to conclusions. If we assume, though, that some of these stories are true, and somebody that we work with in a different line of work has told me that he has had an employee who was pulled over for another reason, and he was told to go home by the cop. Is it harder then that different law enforcement agencies are not necessarily all doing the same things?
I mean, it is for the average person who doesn't realize that each jurisdiction is going to be manned by a different agency. So you come through Sac County, we may say one thing. You drive to West Sac or to Yolo County, it may be a different thing. Just be aware of every agency's different. And, we may have different rules or different ways of education or enforcement.
This whole thing's been an experience for people because a lot of people didn't realize, even counties were being able to say their own things that they're going to do, right? Even though your governor might not be. It's like, yeah, this is how we were built.
Right.
That each county can do that. And then eventually the governor will step in if need be.
Yeah, I mean, we do have state, local, federal law. I mean, this is a
exactly.
great government class for the whole entire world right now.
It is,
we all learned it in 11th grade, but we forgot it so soon.
Who was listening?
All right. We got Deputy Lacey Nelson from Sac Sheriff Department. You can email us, rad@radradio.com. Jennifer, commenting about something Sheriff Jones said when he was here. Nice to hear you can still go to parks in Sac. Every park in Reno and Sparks has been closed off.
Oh, wow.
And wrapped with caution tape. That's just sad.
That's too bad.
Gosh, wow, that is.
And in parks, are you guys are just enforcing to the best again through education, social distancing, not people all climbing together in groups.
For the most part. And I mean, how do you teach a 3 and 5-year-old, you guys don't touch each other, I mean, but the kids are going to go stir crazy. So again, just common sense, and if everybody in the community who's going to the park brings some wipes with them and just helps wipe stuff down, then we can help, lack the spread there.
And no plans of any kind to start shuttering parks and not letting people go.
No. Again, it's about education and just reminding people, maybe you shouldn't be here.
This
with
is
100 people.
This is an email that says signed Lacey fan.
I love it.
Says I just want to say thank you to any and all that are serving the community. We're all in this together, and the outcome greatly depends on the cooperation of the public. With that being said, I would like to thank the sheriff for doing his job in a diligent and vigilant way, and thanks for sitting in for an hour. The truth is, I am wanting to hear from Deputy Lacey. OMG, that sexy voice.
Oh my God!
Will at least make this coronavirus go away while I listen to her talk.
I have nothing.
And
have you not lived that down since the last time you were here?
No, when Rob emails me, he's like, "Hey, Deputy Hotness," like, Jesus.
The fact that you're easy on the eyes made it so much
Rob, thank you.
easier for so many listeners. This is
Thank God there's no camera. I'm beat red right now.
this is from.
There's plenty of cameras.
Here we go.
This is from Stacy. Says, I have a question. Have the Sac Sheriff Department talked about situations where there may be an escalation of social tensions due to outside influences? For example, a natural disaster that would leave mass amounts of people without electricity or even homes, or PG&E shuts off due to a storm. Examples, since it's not fire season, but unforeseen circumstances happening.
I mean, we can what if ourselves to death, and when something happens at the sheriff's office, we'll be there. We're going to step up and take care of our business. And again, like the sheriff said, we're not taking vacation days right now. Everybody's coming to work. We're fully staffed. So if anything happens, we're going to come and we're going to make sure everybody's okay. So
one of the things that people have been wondering, though, is the extent to which agencies are planning, which is kind of what she may be alluding to. Like,
I got you.
I've mentioned a few times, I would be surprised if, for example, the governor of California has not at least sat in a meeting about if this, then that may or may not have to do with National Guard or enforcement. There's a big difference between that and we're planning on doing this.
Right.
You guys aren't sitting around all day long playing the what-if game.
No.
And I presume that you already have things in place under normal circumstances, if there's a major earthquake or some type of disaster. I mean, you guys are always training for school shootings, things like that. So the short answer to your question is, yeah, we're ready.
We're ready.
But we're not sitting around. We don't have a file that we just made
of
if PG&E turns off the power.
We haven't heard anything about PG&E or SMUD or any other of the major utility companies shutting us down.
We got this email from Jake.
Hi, Jake.
Says, can I take my boat out on the river?
You know what? I don't see why not. I mean, again, it's one of those things, there were folks out, like he said, riding motorcycles. So, it's a mental health thing. I wouldn't have 50 people on your little boat.
Right,
guy,
party boat.
Right. Yeah, a Corona party boat. Right?
Exactly.
This is an email from Hector.
Hi, Hector.
Says, my question is, what if you buy a car from a private party? Obviously, I can insure it, but what about getting it registered?
I think DMV is also waiving time frames right now, too. I mean, it's within, whatever it is, DMV states 10 or 30 days, but I think they're waiving times, too.
I think statewide, I think what we were reporting was they put a 60-day moratorium on it. Because it's personal risk, because Brandon's birthday is April 8th, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Politics.
So he had to get that renewed, and then along comes COVID-19, and it looks like they're basically saying no enforcement, no penalties, 60 days, and we'll all kind of revisit it.
I would say so, yeah. And again, everywhere has a website now, especially if it's a government agency. Just go to DMV and see what they're saying.
That just freaks me. We have one of our trucks is due the end of April. It just freaks me out.
Yeah, because the penalty is like $8 million if you don't pay it on time.
Right? Yeah. And just and then there'll be a cop behind me.
Yeah. Well, you can pay your registration online. So
yeah, exactly.
Pay it online.
I mean, I probably will because I'm too paranoid.
They probably won't send you your stickers right now, but if your plate is run by law enforcement, it will show current.
Right. I'll have the printout.
Yeah, there you go.
Phone number is 888-989-9811. We got a couple emails here from other law enforcement agencies and officers. This is from Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
She says, I just wanted to add that Sac City PD is taking a similar approach to Sac County of education versus enforcement. We have been directed to respond to calls, and if stay-in-place order violations are reported, officers will respond with the primary goal of education, seeking voluntary compliance.
See, that is so nice. And if we mess that up, we cannot be upset that they now have to enforce. We did that to ourselves.
Then we got this that says West Sac, which we've been getting a few calls about, is in Yolo County, And I believe they mentioned more strict enforcement, although I personally haven't had trouble driving West Sac yet. Wouldn't be surprised if it happened. I lived in Yolo County for 10 years. And never again because of similar issues. Okay, so that was his personal experience. And Yolo County, they did step in with another county order after everybody else had ordered. But these things are county by county, and you're only here to speak for Sac Sheriff and trying to give everybody an idea of what's going on here. All right, here's another. I think we just answered this. Another vehicle questions from Daniel.
Hey, Daniel.
Says, I bought a truck a few days before the lockdown. This is my only vehicle. I just realized the tags are expired. I cannot get transfer of title or registration because DMV is closed. If I get pulled over...
Oh my God, you're in a stolen car.
Are the police going to take my vehicle? I'm only using it to get groceries. I was able to get insurance.
You know, right now, as you said, Daniel, gosh, I would think that people are going to be more lenient with all the situation. Again, we're all in this. You know, there isn't like just a handful of us that are dealing with this. So explain your situation, your circumstance to the officer if you happen to get pulled over, and discretion, you know, is key.
His big question, you don't see a reason given that the officer is going to confiscate his car.
Personally, I wouldn't, given the circumstances. But again, that's a discretionary issue for each officer. But explain your circumstance. If you get pulled over, just let them know what's happening.
You know, Dawn actually alluded to something there that I'm curious about. So he has insurance. The tags are expired. He can't get transfer of title or registration. Is there any reason to believe, given that information, that this is going to turn into a cop thinking it's a stolen vehicle?
No.
Because
No.
the person would have to report it, right?
Correct.
The previous owner.
That's right.
So this is not going to turn into a felony stop.
No, right, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, get a note from the person you bought it from.
Oh, the great note.
Yes, get your hall pass.
Go online.
On a napkin.
Yeah. Written in crayon, please.
All right, here's one from Rihanna.
Hi, Rihanna.
Says, with this quarantine, my 3 kids, they're 7, 3, and 2,
Whoa,
have
man.
been a little more noisy during the day than they were before. They are going stir crazy, but because I'm a high-risk person with an autoimmune disease, we can't risk taking them out in public. We're doing our best to keep them from running through the house since we live upstairs, but it's not something that can be fixed overnight. My downstairs neighbor has been pounding on our floors during the day, and it's getting frustrating.
Right.
He started on Saturday at noon and then yesterday at 5 p.m. Is this something I need to be worried about getting in trouble for, noise complaints?
I wouldn't say so right now. We're all stuck in the house.
Yeah,
you know?
what a
and
jerk.
They're children. What are they supposed to do? You know, the poor kids are bored.
Yeah, exactly. He was a child once. Good Lord.
You know.
So if Sac County got a call like that, because I mean those are the kind of calls you get occasionally, right?
Correct.
My neighbor's making too much noise, I can't sleep. You would still respond and then tell the complainant or her how would you guess that would be handled?
A call like that, we wouldn't be required to respond. It could be something we can talk over the phone about. But if we did go out, it would just be educational, you know, and it's a civil issue there within the apartment complex too. So if the person downstairs wants to talk to the manager could talk to the lady. But again, that's not something criminal necessarily. That's just we're just trying to mediate.
And at that point, maybe the deputy said exactly what you said. Come on. They're kids.
Yeah,
we're all
I'm
in this
sorry.
together.
Yeah, we're all here. We're all stuck.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Hi, Patrick.
Hi, so it's not really a question. First off, love the show, but I was listening to you guys a few minutes ago about the guy with the car issues. I just bought a car Wednesday, and of course Thursday the DMV shut down. But right next to my house, there's a place. It's like a little private DMV. I live off of Fulton because everyone's still buying cars. Everyone still needs to get everything in their name, but the DMVs are closed. But there's a place off La Mesa in Arden, and it's called Quick, and they do everything the DMV does. They transferred my car, did the registration, and everything. So, tired of hearing people's excuses for not getting anything done.
Are you not finding this, Brandon, to be a helpful public service announcement?
No, because whoever decides to call in and put a PSA over the radio needs to learn how to use the phone. Talk into the phone.
By the way,
That felt good.
Our phone screener does educate each caller on things that they need to do in terms of getting off the Bluetooth and the speaker phone. But like we're hearing with these stories, not everyone complies with suggestions about how to properly respond.
Yeah, that's how we got here. No one's complying.
That's right. It all started with calls into our show.
Wash your hands.
Are you personally, Lacey? Are you practicing? How has your life changed? Are you practicing different hygiene and more social distancing and all of that such?
You know, I always laugh because I'm pretty OCD, hygienically clean anyway. You know, and with our line of work, you know, the folks that we've had to touch and deal with over the years, I think I have a pretty strong immune system, but it's not necessarily just about me. It's about you and you and you and other people I'm out. So, I'm practicing better hygiene, touching doors with wipes and all that kind of stuff too.
And what about we had last week, the FBI sent out notifications to a bunch of local law enforcement agencies about white supremacists threatening to try to intentionally infect law enforcement using spray bottles. Do you guys have any concerns, any fear? I mean, you were already targets. Do you have any concerns about things like that you've heard about?
I haven't heard of that. We're always targets anyway.
Right. And so it's not no more heightened now than ever.
You're going to spray me with a bottle of Corona.
Are you hearing report? What do you hear from the other deputies? Is it because I know you said earlier it's just normal? Isn't it dead? Like, isn't it kind of eerie out there at least certain times of the day?
I think traffic-wise, yes, because nobody's really out. But again, the grocery stores are open, and like the sheriff was saying, Rayleigh's has hired us for this off-duty program, and I've been working that frequently lately. So it's busy. People are in and out of the store all day. So I mean, we still have to do things.
Damn criminals! They just don't take time off.
Yeah, right. I don't care that it's the coronavirus.
Exactly.
Is that kind of what Sheriff Jones was saying? Is it's about the same, or have you noticed any type of dip or increase in crime and miscreants?
I mean, he said the calls for service have gone down a little bit, so that could be due to the coronavirus. It could be, who knows, But calls for service have gone down, so that's good, I guess. But people staying in the house, I was concerned when this whole stay-at-home order happened, domestic violence issues and mental health or depression issues, and I thought that stuff would go up,
Now, you mentioned, you were nice enough to share last time you were here, is she your wife?
No.
Okay, she's a girlfriend.
Yeah.
You guys live together?
Yes.
So what is it, does she have a job she gets to go to, or is she stuck at home?
She's stuck at home.
So have you found, because we've all shared on our show, the what it's like to be in your home, and for us, we all get to get up like you, and because you're going to work every day.
Yeah.
So we get the same thing, but for our spouses, they don't, and so we're all noticing an interesting
They're
dynamic,
going crazy,
right? And for different reasons.
Next topic.
Right? That's what I was looking for.
Next topic.
All right.
Where's that button?
No wonder you're working the extra shift at Rayleigh's.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
We got this email from Shane.
That's great.
Says, Rob, you're right. Talking about Lacey, she is hot. Very easy on the eyes.
Thank you.
I might need to be searched by her.
Whoa.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
Having way too much fun.
We have found that people enjoy and need that escape now more than ever. We have to inform, we have to answer these questions, we have to be serious about everything that's going on. And we're the news outlet for a lot of people, as scary as that is. But sometimes we just need to have some fun, some levity in the midst of dealing with all of this stuff.
Yeah, we have to.
And there's less and less places you can do it. That's one of the things that sucks about being at home, is there are fewer and fewer entertainment outlets for or things for even why. There's no live sports. There's very little anything live other than news. We got that little concert last night for an hour, and other than that, it's like we've watched everything on Netflix, everything on Hulu.
Yeah, there's nothing else to see.
No, you're going back and you're rewatching 2.5 Men from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You just watched Tiger King again.
Right? I mean, so you're rewatching the series?
No, I've had my fill.
I mean,
Once was plenty.
I've thought of rewatching Breaking Bad.
Right?
Yeah, that's good.
It already takes me an hour to find something on Netflix that I want to see.
Yeah.
Well, and this is
My husband has designed, like, in his mind, the garage. How it needs to be.
It's going to be a man cave.
Just all these things.
Well, and then there's the other dynamic that we've talked about, which is it's odd that you're home and you're told you can't go anywhere, and there's plenty to do, and yet sometimes you don't want to do it. You know there's plenty that you could be doing.
Yeah.
But you're like, I don't want to.
Emotionally
What did we
drained.
used to say? If only I had a few days off.
Yeah, and now
Now you have 30.
right? We've got all of these days.
Why is you're not mowing your lawn? I mean, what is happening here?
Well, I have people for that.
Oh, Jesus.
And it's raining.
Is it
It
essential?
was raining.
Yeah. They're essential for me.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, especially since I don't even own a lawnmower anymore.
Right, me neither.
So, but the better example at Williams Manor is, why does my closet still look the way that it did before Christmas vacation, which is when I was going to initially clean that out.
Or just any drawer in the house. Why are they not all organized?
The dreaded junk drawer just keeps getting more junk in it. We're not getting...
No, just any drawer.
God.
Because I'll have them set a certain way, and then over time, it just starts getting unraveled and people put things where they don't go.
And,
Yeah.
and you and this effervescent, never-ending positivity that drives me nuts about you, Lacey.
Come on,
it.
Rob.
Do you not worry? We started the show talking about this, about what we've been talking about a few times. People being cooped up. Do you not are you personally like just, oh no, everybody's in this together, everything's gonna be fine, we're all good people? The more this goes on, do you not have a concern of how people are going to start to act out?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, even I get cooped up, but I have the, luckily I get to go to work.
Yep.
It is essential, but find stuff to do. Yeah, we're gonna get bored. Who isn't? So find things to do. Like you said, you can only watch so many movies.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I felt really good last night after I cleaned. It was, it was time or whatever. I'm really weird about the bathrooms. They just got to be clean. But I did, back to what you were saying, Rob, of like, why aren't I doing the things I normally would do? And I was noticing my husband and I's bathroom and shower area. I was like, well, I've really let that go. Why?
Time to
I've had all
clean.
this time. Oh my God, I felt so good last night. I mean, I felt like I felt new.
Yeah, it feels good. Get
it
everything
does.
cleaned up.
Yeah.
Why not?
Phone number's 888-989-9011. Hi, Dan.
Hey, good morning, Brad.
Hey, go ahead.
Yeah, so people have all this extra time off. It's the middle of March, and I know there's still maggots out there that have the Christmas lights up.
Yeah, it's the end.
Take them down.
Well, the thing about the Christmas lights is a lot of people are putting them back up.
Yeah, for cheer.
Yeah, there's
Exactly.
for the kids.
a
or
social
something.
media thing
Yep.
to keep
Something to
people
do.
happy.
Joyful.
And you're like 2 weeks behind. It is not the middle of March, Dan. It is the end of March.
Do you know what Hallmark Channel has done? I'm sure you've heard
Yes.
about it, boys. They're like playing nonstop Christmas
Oh
movies.
my God.
We need something.
No,
No, that's where you're drawing the line.
no, I have to draw the line there. I'm not watching it in December.
Well, Deputy Nelson, thank you for being
Thank
here.
you, you guys.
We
I appreciate it. Yeah,
everything.
you're
We
awesome.
appreciate your service. Appreciate you bringing Sheriff Jones around. But we can't let you take over the whole show because we got other things we have
Heck
to
yeah.
talk about
It
today.
was good to talk to you guys, and thanks everybody
Yep.
for calling in.
We will have you back again soon.